The galaxy had long whispered of a prophecy, a warning carved into ancient crystal tablets, older than most stars. Chaos will come, and from it the galaxy shall burn. To the proud warlords of the Krell Dominion, it was little more than a fable, a story used to frighten lesser species into obedience. They believed themselves immune to chaos, immune to fear, immune to prophecy. That arrogance hardened into cruelty the day their fleets descended upon Port Arclight, a human colony on the rim. The Krell arrived not with diplomacy, but with laughter. Their warships opened fire without warning, tearing apart orbital stations, silencing the civilian freighters docked in port, and vaporizing cities in columns of light. As the smoke rose, the Krell broadcast their message across every channel. This is chaos. Humanity is nothing. You bow or you burn. The mockery. The galaxy watched in silence. The Krell feasted on their victory, boasting in council halls that Earth was a weakling world of philosophers and merchants. They replayed the slaughter of Port Arclight as a spectacle, an entertainment broadcast across sectors. Laughter followed every human scream. The prophecy was invoked again, but this time by the Krell themselves. "This is it," they sneered. "The prophecy fulfilled, the chaos was us, and humans were merely the kindling." And the galaxy, fearful and resigned, accepted that perhaps the prophecy had spoken true. What they did not understand, what they could not understand, was that humans did not fear chaos. To humans, chaos was simply life. The silence before the storm. For weeks, Earth said nothing. No declarations, no threats, no reply to the Krell broadcasts. The galaxy assumed silence meant surrender. But among the humans, silence had never meant peace. Beneath the oceans of Earth, shipyards that had slumbered for decades awakened. On Luna, hidden hangars cracked open, releasing shadows that were not yet ships but predators waiting for their prowl. In Mars's red dust, soldiers drilled not for survival but for vengeance. Comms fell quiet across the human fleet as ancient protocols were reactivated. No chatter, no noise, just one coded phrase passed through encrypted channels. "The time has come." The awakening. The first hint of movement came when probes belonging to neutral species simply vanished. One moment they recorded empty void, the next they were swallowed in silence. Then the stars themselves seemed to shift. Entire constellations dimmed as shadows moved against suns. It was no natural phenomenon. It was the human fleet. Dreadnoughts the size of cities emerged from black space. Carrier groups slipped into formation with the grace of predators. Escorts, corvettes, and annihilation cruisers assembled in silence, blotting out the starlight. When at last the comms came alive, the galaxy shivered at the first human words broadcast in weeks. "Chaos, you have never seen it, but you will." The shattering. The Krell Dominion had built their empire on fear, but fear is fragile. The first blow came at the Krell capital's gate world. A fleet of 70 human dreadnoughts warped in simultaneously, each unleashing salvos that shredded orbital defenses in minutes. The Krell scrambled, screaming about prophecy, claiming destiny was theirs. But destiny burned. Human dropships descended like storms. Troops in black exo-armor cut through Krell soldiers, as if war were a ritual they had perfected long ago. Every resistance was met with overwhelming precision. Entire Krell armadas folded within hours. Fortress worlds surrendered within minutes. The galaxy had expected a retaliation. What they witnessed was extermination. The true meaning of chaos. Alien historians would later write that the prophecy had been wrong, that chaos had not been a Krell invention at all. Chaos was the humans themselves. Not blind destruction, but the sheer unpredictability of a species that thrived in the storm. The Krell believed war was order, fleets moving in disciplined arcs, soldiers marching in rigid formations. Humans fought like nothing the galaxy had ever known, fractured, improvised, adaptive. Where one human fell, another rose. Where one fleet broke, two more appeared. Where one strategy failed, 10 new ones were born in the space of a heartbeat. To the Krell, this was madness. To humans, it was simply being human. Retribution without mercy. The climax came not with a single battle, but with a single choice. The Krell homeworld, once thought untouchable, suddenly faced the shadow of Earth's largest ship, the Harbinger, a dreadnought so vast it eclipsed the planet's daylight. The Harbinger spoke only once. "This is for Port Arclight." Then its weapons roared. Oceans boiled, continents split, skies ignited. The Krell capital, jewel of their empire, was annihilated in a storm of fire. For the first time in history, the galaxy witnessed a species not merely fighting for survival, but choosing vengeance as principle. And vengeance was infinite. The ashes of the Dominion. When the fires dimmed, there was no Krell Dominion left. Their fleets scattered, their worlds shattered, their rulers ash in the wind. Survivors crawled from the ruins whispering only one phrase, repeated like a prayer. Never provoke Earth again. The galaxy had once mocked humanity for their chaos. Now they understood that chaos was not weakness, it was power. The whisper that remained. In the aftermath, silence spread again. Not the silence of surrender, but the silence of dread. Trade routes reopened, but with human escorts always present. Alliances reformed, but always bent toward Earth's will. Whispers carried from system to system. The prophecy was right, chaos came. But it was not the Krell. It was just humans being humans. Eternal lesson. The galaxy would never forget the sight. Fleets blotting out suns. Armies landing like storms. A species that turned silence into warning, chaos into strength, vengeance into law. The prophecy had spoken. The galaxy had doubted. And humanity had answered, not with words but with fire. From that day forward, every alien child learned the same whispered truth before sleep. Do not provoke Earth, for their patience is vast but their vengeance is infinite.